Hi, I hope you had a great day. I wanted to make another video just quickly speaking about what is a gitignore and what it does. Um, so basically, when you're having a code file and you don't want to push certain folders or file to your Git, you use gitignore. So there are certain benefits to that. Let me open my code editor so I can quickly show that to you. So the first thing you want to do is create a new file and call it .gitignore. And if I open my terminal and look at what's inside here, we have one gitignore, and I believe we have the Git itself too. Let's take a quick look because I used this folder in the past. So I'm going to open that folder, which is Git example right here. So you can see we have a Git folder here. So whenever you're trying to add commit and push, it will read the gitignore first. So there are a couple of reasons that you might want to use gitignore. As I said, so sometimes you don't want to push large files into Git, right? Sometimes you have a video, you have zip files, you have images that you don't want to push it to your Git, you don't want to push it to your GitHub. And that goes for your modules, for node modules, for libraries that you can always do npm install. So you don't want to push them to Git, right? So you have them empty. And then once you clone the Git repository, you run npm install, and that will install it for you. So you don't want to keep it in Git because it doesn't make any sense. So let's run an example. And also some API keys. I'll tell you why here. So let's have a file. Let's call it our env. Okay, this is .env whatnot. This, let's say I have my db password here. Okay, and it's equal to 1 2 3 4 5. So this is my database password, and when I run my system, my code uses this env file to find my database password, and then it will connect to it and open the database. Now, you don't want to push this information to your GitHub. For one, your GitHub can be public. Even if it's private, you leave this information to the hand of, I don't know, people who are working at GitHub, and maybe it gets broken into. And also other people who are part of your Git repository, they can read this password. So there are certain information, either the data is too big, either it's sensitive, it's personal, or there are data that you just don't want to share it with GitHub or your other coworkers. You can simply go to your gitignore and just do as simple as env. And if I right now, if I do git add, and if I do git commit m is for message, let's say second push, and then let's do this git push origin main. And let's take a look at my GitHub and see what code is actually there. Did it push all the code there, or just this one? So I'm opening it right now. Here. So this is what I pushed here. You can see the second push. That env file is not there. If I have another file, I can show it to you. Let's say I have another file. I say, I don't know, hello.py, okay? And then hello.py has print hello. And then now, if I do the same thing, if I git add all, git commit, I have to do, that doesn't matter, and push, and if I reload, this thing is in there, right? The hello.py is there. Now, that brings me to my final point. And the final point being changing the git midway. I believe if you go to your gitignore, changing the gitignore midway, if you go to your gitignore right now, and I might be wrong, and you add, let's say you want to add the hello py to it, hello.py, and then you do git add, let's say third push, and then you do push main, and you reload, the hello py is still there. So because that's how it just works. It's remembering the gitignore decisions, and then in the cache it caches the gitignore. So even though we added hello py to the gitignore, it doesn't take effect. So one thing you have to do is to remove your cached file, and that's quite simple. You will do git rm r for recursive, I believe, and then you do cached, then cached and all. Oh, my G button is terrible. G. Okay, so now everything is removed. Once that's done, let's try to see if that works. Git add, let's say fourth. Okay, and then let's do push main origin. Yeah, and now let's go to the GitHub and see if that took effect. Okay, let's refresh. Perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Leave some comments if you have some questions. There is more to it. Ask me any questions and I'll be happy to help you. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye.